Good evening and salutations, my J friends. Hmm. If you know me, you know why I'm smiling right now. You know why I'm smiling right now. I can already see the comments. So, we'll start off, yeah, with Curtis, Portia, and Drew. So, Portia and Curtis are having their usual dinner, talking about plans to go to Miami or Fiji or wherever. And Curtis just walked me, and Drew walks up, and he's just like, "Yo, so you didn't think I was gonna find out?" And of course, he's talking about the congressman, the other congressman that apparently like blocked his vote or is freezing him out or doing something to screw him over, right? So he's pissed off at this point. He's like, listen, you take something away from me, I'm gonna take something away from you. They're going back and forth. Curtis is sitting there talking about, what he's doing is not just hurting him, but it's also hurting the people of Port Charles, and that business deal was like very vital, and it was necessary for the community, and you just made it about yourself. So they're going back and forth. And of course, it goes back down to the whole somewhat semi promising him a job that he was never intending on giving him. Which again, I think the issue was because, to be fair, it's like he never actually said that you were going to get this job, and you didn't have the experience to get this job. But what Curtis wanted was his friend to be honest with him, and I understand that part. And of course, Portia jumps in, and she jumps in with her 2 cents or whatever. So they go back and forth, and eventually he leaves, right? But he doesn't just leave, okay? He goes to see Selena Wu. And he's like, "So do you got some info on Curtis?" Selena's like, "No, I don't got any info on Curtis, but I do got some info on Portia." Remember that little thing that Brad was not there blackmailing her with, in a sense, even though he really wasn't doing anything on a grand scale? So she's like, "Hey, listen, you do a favor for me, and I give you this piece of paper," and pretty much she explains the paper is her tampering with medical files that would get her. It would definitely make her lose her license. I don't know if there's any jail time, but losing her license, yeah, that's that's pretty much a sure thing right there. And he's just like, "Yeah, let's do just fine." And I'm not gonna lie, I laughed my ass off because you got Portia and Curtis pretty much kind of just celebrating their win, and Curtis is all like, "Oh, he better just sit there and take this L." It's like, okay, you may not be taking this L, but your wife, on the other hand, oh, she definitely gonna be taking that L. I personally can't wait to see how that goes. Uh, I'm gonna enjoy that scene so much. Um, Scene I did not enjoy, Sasha. I don't know what the hell they're doing with her and her writing, but it's like they just made her just incredibly insufferable. Okay, my baby this, my baby that. I want to do it my way. He's offering money to her, and after the whole, her thinking about working at the Metro Court, it's like, "Oh, I want to sit there and get you some money or whatever," and she just acts like the nastiest witch just for simply him offering money. And then there was one point where he's like, "Well, did you sit there and think about what Michael would want?" And of course she wouldn't, because it's all her, me, this self-centered BS that she's been doing since she's found out that Michael was the father. She's been on this insufferable thought process, right? And so after a while, Jason just leaves. And I'm like, you know what I felt bad for? I felt bad for Jason in this position because I can't imagine being stuck in a room with Sasha more than 5 minutes before I would have probably lost my goddamn mind. So he leaves, right? Sitwell comes in. Sitwell's like, hey, listen, I got a little business part for you. I give you a ton of money, and you just, speak very highly of me. You, you know, whatever the whole nonsense about, me threatening you and, the whole, bomb incident, all that nonsense. You just sing my praises. I give you this money, okay? It's $500,000, okay? I'm pretty sure you can use it. And instead of her just not just saying no, which I'm just like, so let me get this straight. Jason tries to be nice to you, and you act like the worst version of yourself, but you're actually considering taking money from Sitwell. Okay. Mm-mm. And of course, Jason sees this, and Jason's like, get away from her. Now, in the other part of the house, Tracy is being her usual annoying, obnoxious, over the top, extra self. Um, she gets Alexis. Why she gets Alexis instead of her army of lawyers that she constantly brags about? Well, I mean, let's be honest, Jenna. Show does not have the budget for any of that stuff. Why Alexis would agree to work for Tracy after what she did? Yeah, we're just gonna act like that stuff just did not happen. So something about property and her being in violation from it, the gravesite or something like that, and pretty much long story short, Alexis like, how about we just make a deal with him? Okay, you drop that whole, oh, you can't be a Quartermain, he can't have the last Quartermain name or whatever, Drew, and he'll drop that part. So Marty comes in, they go back and forth for a little bit, like usual, because I mean that's fun to watch. And eventually, there's one point she's like, okay, fine, I admit it, I'm in violation or whatever. And Marty's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna sit there and tell the cops or the courts or someone. And at some point, Geo comes in. Now, Geo, you know, on some level, I feel like he's being kind of shoehorned in, but I'm like, fine, it gives him a story after almost a year of being there. Um, so Geo's into talking to Dante after talking to Lulu and Spinelli. And I don't even know where this is actually even coming from. It seems like he cares about Scout. I guess, wants to try to find the best way to talk to Tracy, I imagine, about getting her to drop that suit because it's going to affect Scout in some sort of way, as far as him not having a Quartermain name and her having a Quartermain name and just, feeling some sort of way about it. And I guess Dante gives us some sort of points, gives him some sort of pointers or whatever, because at some point he goes back to the house. And they're all sitting there going back and forth, and Gio's like, he does something where he's like, 555. And it's like 5 months, 5 years, 5 hours, whatever, would it really matter? And it's something that just sparked within Tracy because Tracy heard that line before. Her mother used to sit there and say it. That's why I imagine her. I could have got that wrong, but she decides to drop the suit. She thanks Gio. Okay, this is actually the first time that Tracy in a while wasn't just this over the top annoying woman where it's like I have to sit there and look at my phone and be like, oh, is she still talking? Like, oh, wow. Yeah, she can actually be human every now and then. But of course she changed her mind because she's all like, I gotta protect the family and like okay, I guess we're going back to this again. Um Now Lulu convinces Spinelli to um deactivate the security in Valentine's old house and sit there and try to look for clues. Meanwhile, Lucy's sitting there trying to sell Sonny Valentine's property. So at some point, well, Sunny gets there. Before Sunny gets there, Lulu's there. And, instead of Lulu sitting there just right away, okay, cool, let's sit there and look, let's do this. As Penelope is sitting there saying, she's just like, so my daughter was here. And this is her room, and this is her couch, and this is where she reads. And I'm just like, well, this is a B&A. You might want to kind of pick up the pace there. But before she really finds anything, Sunny comes in, and they're talking about Valentine as she's not there trying to give him the tour. He's like, I guess I could buy it. At some point, Christina comes in. Christina's like, you're not really going to sit there and buy Valentine's house, right? Like, what's wrong with the house? Then she's like, the house is good. They talk about Marty. I mean, they talk about Valentine in a sense because Sunny's like, what happens if he wants to come back and he wants to then try to like kick me out or whatever? And since Martin is still on Valentine's retainer, must be some sort of way he's keeping in contact. So Martin seems not really be telling the truth, but it's according to Lucy. So who the hell knows? That's just all the incentive that she needs. And Sunny buys the house. Christina approves of it. So cheers all around. So Lucas and Brad are actually, in Miami. They're reminiscing about some of the good times and stuff. Trips that they want to go on, trips that Brad didn't exactly want to go, but he wanted to do it for Lucas and stuff. So they're just having a great time, and Lucas admits that he does miss Brad, and even when he was on his breaks, he was not there wondering where Brad was at. So they're talking everything like that, and everything seems like it's going good, and Lucas kissed Brad. They go back to their room. They're about to sit there and get all freaky. And then Brad is like, okay, listen, we can't go any further until I tell you the truth. So, um, so yeah, that's what happens with that. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. For the most part, I'm pretty sure I probably missed some stuff here or there, but that is the general gist of the episode. Now, hopefully, I can sit there and finish this last soap opera, and if everything goes well, I'll be doing a live stream for an hour because I gotta wake up super early. So we'll just sit there and say 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Um, and talking about all 5 of the shows, 6 if you count Hollyoaks. Um, Gates is great. I know this is a GH review, but F it, the Gates was great. Definitely watch that show. Anyway, if I missed anything, write in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.